Good morning, my dear students. Myself, Miraj Sheikh, your history teacher from Adarsh Education Society. Let's begin with the second part of the chapter, the Indian subcontinent and history. In this part, we'll be studying about the geographical features of India and the Indian subcontinent. But before we move ahead, let's do a quick revision of what we studied in the first part of the lesson. We studied what is history. What is history, students? History is a coherent account of significant event which happened in the past and led to the progress of human culture. We also saw the four pillars of history, that is time, place, society and individual. We also saw that there is a close relationship between history and geography. Now let's begin with the first topic, the geographical features of India. Now students, when I am speaking about geographical features, a question comes in mind. What does geographical features means? Geographical features means naturally created features of the earth. Natural geographical features consist of landforms such as mountains, plateaus, plains, valleys, islands, etc. So now let's see the geographical features of India. Our country extends far and wide. At its north lies the Himalayas. To the east, the Bay of Bengal. To the west, the Arabian Sea. To the south, the Indian Ocean. Except the islands of Andaman and Nicobar and the Lakshadweep, the rest of the country is contiguous, means next to or touching each other. Now, when you look at the map of India, you will see that from Jammu and Kashmir to Kerala and from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, all the states are sharing boundaries with each other. That means they are close to each other, only leaving the Lakshadweep island in the Arabian Sea and Andaman and Nicobar island in the Bay of Bengal. Before 1947, that is, before independence, today's Pakistan and Bangladesh were also a part of India. Therefore, we have to take in account this region when we study the ancient history of India. The following regions are seen to be important when we look at the course of Indian history. They are the Himalayas, the plains of Sindhu, Ganga, Brahmaputra river, that is, it is also called as the Northern Plain, the Thar Desert, the Deccan Plateau, the coastal region, the islands in the sea. Now students will be studying about these physical features of India in detail. The Himalayas. The Himalayan mountains are one of the most beautiful place to explore the gift of nature. Its highest peak, sunrise, sunset through the mountain offer a delightful experience. The Hindu Kush and the Himalaya ranges have created an impenetrable wall on the northern side of Indian subcontinent. In other words, because of the Hindu Kush and the Himalaya ranges, a wall has been created in the northern side which has separated the Indian subcontinent from the desert of Central Asia. There is a land route through the Khyber and the Bolan Pass in the Hindu Kush mountain. This route was connected to an ancient trade route which linked China with the Western world. It is known as Silk Route or Silk Road. Students, this route was called Silk Route because silk from China was exported to the Western countries using this route. Many foreign travelers also came to India by this route. The plains of Sindhu, Ganga and Brahmaputra river. This region consists of basin of three big rivers, that is Sindhu, also called as Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra and their tributaries. This region extends from Sindh, Punjab in the west to the present Bangladesh in the east. It was in this region that the earliest civilization, called as Indus civilization, emerged. The Thar Desert. The Thar Desert spreads across Rajasthan, Haryana and some parts of Gujarat. A part of the desert lies in today's Pakistan. The desert has the Satluj River to its north, the Aravalli mountain ranges to its east, the Run of Kutch to its south, and the Sindhu, that is the Indus River, to its west. The Ghaggar River that originates in Himachal Pradesh reaches the Thar Desert. Students, that means the river which starts from Himachal Pradesh reaches the Thar Desert, which is in Pakistan. This river in Pakistan is known as Hakra. Now, the course of this river has dried up in Rajasthan as well as in Pakistan. The Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau is a large plateau that covers most of South India. This region lies between the east and the west coast of India and tapers off to the south. Now students, when you look at the map, you can see that it starts getting narrower as we move towards the south. This region has the Arabian Sea to its west, the Indian Ocean to its south, and the Bay of Bengal to its east. Such a region surrounded by sea on three sides is called a peninsula. A major part of the Indian peninsula is occupied by the Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau is located between the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. The mountain range of Vindhya and Satpura are located in the north of the Deccan Plateau. This plateau has fertile land and therefore the Harappan civilization and the Mauryan Empire flourish in this region. The coastal region. Students, till now we have studied that India is blessed by sea on all three sides. The region that is close to the sea or ocean is known as the coastal region. Since ancient time, India has trade relationship with the Western countries through this coastal region. Later on, land routes were discovered, but the importance of the sea route did not diminish. That means, after the discovery of land route, the value of the sea route did not decrease. The islands in the sea. Students, do you know what are islands? A piece of land surrounded by water on all sides is known as islands. The Andaman Nicobar Island lies in the Bay of Bengal and the Lakshadweep is a group of islands in the Arabian Sea. The location of this island played an important role in the ancient sea trade. The manuscript Periplus of the Italian Sea or the Handbook of the Red Sea makes a mention of Indian islands. South Asia. South Asia consists of countries like Afghanistan, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. All these countries together form the region known as South Asia. Now students, before going to our main topic, that is the Indian subcontinent, let us first understand the meaning of subcontinent. Subcontinent means large landmass that's smaller than a continent. And India is known as subcontinent because India stands out distinct, different, unlike other countries. It's just like a continent but smaller than that. And Indian subcontinent is not just our country but also includes Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Afghanistan, and Bhutan. Now, when you look at the map of India, you will see that the expansion of India is more as compared to all the neighboring countries. Considering the expanse and significance of India in this region, it is known as the Indian subcontinent. The Harappan civilization has spread mainly in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. Myanmar and China are both our neighboring countries, but they are not the part of South Asia or the Indian subcontinent. However, they had cultural and trade relationship with the ancient India. Now students, let's do a quick revision of all what we did in this chapter. In this chapter, we studied about the geographical features of India. We saw in detail about the physical features of India like the Himalayas, the plains of Sindhu, Ganga, Brahmaputra and their tributaries, the Thar Desert, the Deccan Plateau, the coastal region and the islands in the sea. We saw the Indian subcontinent and why is it called as the Indian subcontinent. Hope you understood the chapter. Thank you students. Hope to see you again. Till then, bye-bye.